Well, in keeping with our theme of all women speakers this fall, our speaker next month is Patience Ferguson. On the back of your table handout today, Patience was a speaker at the Good Leadership Conference that we hosted in 2013. It's been really fun for me to follow her career, and very, very dynamic person with a huge job in charge of all human resources for the city of Minneapolis. We really hope you join us for that. I also want to take this moment to say that, to remind you that the mission that drives all of us who produce this is the mission to spread goodness. But in honest self-reflection, we've identified that what we've really done over the last 7 years, despite the fact that this is a very full room, we've spent most of our energy refining and defining goodness. But when you think about the context of the great wide world, and even the state of Minnesota and the United States of America, we haven't really spread it that much. So we're really focusing on this idea of how do you spread something? How do you start a movement? Many of you have signed the Goodness Pledge already. We're going to continue to give you the opportunities to do that because that's the place to start. But when we think about spreading, in a modern era, we have to start thinking about broadcast. Broadcast today primarily happens over the internet. It's a lot easier today than ever before, which is why we're going to formalize our strategy around social media. We've got some really talented people in the room who are going to help. And we are going to condense the meeting in October down into a bite-sized 21-minute internet TV broadcast, and we're going to ask you to share it. It's more than my job to spread goodness. It's your job too, and you do it by coming here every once in a while, and we're going to ask you to help us with a little bit more aggressive. The other thing that we've done is we're taking to heart the fact that not everyone can afford to have a senior executive coaching relationship. And that there are some core ideas that are articulated on the back of this, that good leaders have in common. The people that spread goodness, they know how to manage their own personal leadership. They know how to run a team. They know how to lead change. They know how to coach others and to influence people without authority. So what we've done is we've taken the exact same curriculum that we work with the senior executives with, like Jen, and condensed it into these one-day training workshops that are less than $500. They're peer group training. We're going to host those at our office at Good Leadership Enterprises in Edina. Many of you have already come up and asked for information about that. I want to call your attention to Carolyn Vinup in the back of the room. She's got information about this. We're doing this to make it easier for you to lead the way you want to lead and for you to help us spread goodness. So now as we turn for home, I love the ideas about purpose. Those ideas were brought up earlier. It's been said over and over and over again, the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you decide that you learn why you were born. I have a very powerful mentoring relationship with a guy named Richard Leider. He's kind of a Hall of Famer in what I do for a living, and he's agreed to be our speaker in February. But in the context of working with him on whether or not he said he would say yes or not, he really got in my face June of last year and said to me, okay, what is your message really? And it caused me to think hard about what does goodness pays really mean? So much so that we engaged some of our partners, and my good friend Paul Hillen from Cargill, and my friend Jerry Miola from SMS, we've launched into a massive research project. We're interviewing senior executive leaders and people like you to find out, what does that really mean? I'm working on another book project. Book projects change you. First, they make you feel really stupid. And then when you start getting a few things right, it changes you. So you can look forward to all these sorts of things, but I'm going to challenge you now as our season turns into the season of harvest. What are you thinking about your purpose? Have you discovered why for you? We hope it has something to do with goodness, and we think it's our job to help stimulate that kind of thinking. We hope to see you again when we introduce you to Patience Ferguson next month, and we're going to crescendo all the way to Jody Harpstad, one of my favorite leaders who runs Lutheran Social Service of Minnesota. So now those of you who've been here before, you know the question I'm about to ask. So if you had a good time today, the question is, are you ready to radiate goodness today? Yeah. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you September. Seize the day.